Hello, welcome. It's always a pleasure to be with you, sharing, learning, growing. Hopefully, these videos are helping you make better decisions and you are living the life that you want to live. This is what it's all about. And ladies and gentlemen, the women that's following God, the man that's following God, remember this world is created by God, is designed to be holy, it is spiritual. And if you decide not to apply yourself according to holy rules, laws, commandments of God, there's no way you're going to succeed in this world. So us who are chasing and looking for God and want to be obedient, this is for you. The holy women and the holy men. Continue, stay permanent on God, focus on God, because there's no other way except God. Now, today we're going to talk about shaming. How incredibly devastating it is when someone shame another person. And I don't think we have any clue, any idea what that looks like. What are the consequences? How serious or the severity of that sin when you shame somebody? So let's take a look. Let's say you decide to shame someone that in public in front of 100 people. Okay, for whatever the reason is. You shame that person. Now, what has happened is you have committed 100 sin, because every one of those people just believe what you just said about that person. And not only that, that person himself, you have just destroyed that person in public. And who did you destroy? You just destroy God creation, because God created him or her. Now, this is especially that I'm addressing women who likes to do that, likes to shame. Of course, I'm not saying men doesn't do it either, but this is something big women like to do, is shaming men, because men don't want to comply to their demands or wanting them to do what they want them to do. Now, you cannot shame someone because they're not doing what you want them to do. Okay? Trying to control somebody is called witchcraft. That's what you're doing. That's witchcraft. Trying to control somebody. So you're not on God's side. By default, you are on Satan. You are working for Satan, because that is witchcraft, trying to shame someone, to control them, to get them to do what you want. So there you have committed 100 sin, and you will pay dearly for this. You're going to wish you were never born, because it says when you embarrass someone in public, it's as if you literally killed them. This is why if you look at certain people, or at least not with black people, you can see the blush, the redness come on their cheek when they've been shamed by someone, the amount of embarrassment, because that means the blood cell in their cheek is bursting, bleeding. So literally you have killed that person physically, and that's what you have done. And then you cannot undo it. It's almost impossible, because to undo that shame, you have to go find every one of those person that you shamed that person in front of and apologize to them and say you were wrong. So now, these 100 people are now going to talk about this person you shame to another 100 people. So now that's 200 sin that's on your account. Now these 200 people go tell another 200 people. Now you have 400 sin that's on your account. It is said, when you die, you have done something horrible like this, you leave behind. Every year, God revise and look at your account. So that means a year passed after you died, they look at your account and say, oh, now you have 3,000 people now that knows about this person you shame. Now that's more time you're going to spend in hell. And usually shaming is permanent place in hell, is where you go, because of how devastating it is when you shame someone. You literally putting yourself in hell for eternity. This is what you're doing. You know, it's like you record something that's negative and it has a ripple effect. It doesn't end, because everybody who listens to it, guess what? They believe it and they do it, and that goes on your account. So now, what is the proof how bad this really is? Shaming somebody, shaming God creation. Let's look at Adam and Eve and the snake. What happened? When Eve started talking with the snake and God says do not eat from the tree, but her conversation with the snake, Satan, led her, after she spoke long enough, she said, God said, don't touch the tree. And Satan said, aha, I got you. That's not what God said. He didn't say that, but he knew God did not say not to touch, not to eat. So because she slipped and said not to touch, he pushed her against the tree. And when she hit the tree, and the snake, Satan, says, see, you didn't die. God lied to you. That's the first shame. See, he shamed God. The snake shamed God. The Satan shamed God. And the second thing he said to her, the reason God does not want you to eat from this tree is because this is where God got his power from. And if you eat, you be like him. So God does not want competition. So this is why he tells you, or he told you not to eat. Because why? God do not want competition. So what did the snake, the Satan did? He minimized God. He shamed God and brought God down to almost nothing at all. Because he says, why? You're nothing, God. You're nothing. The tree made you God. You're garbage. You see how devastating that is when you're shaming somebody, when you demoralizing someone. And what happened to the snake? God says he punished all three. But the snake, he says, you and I will never, ever talk again. What does that mean, you will never talk again? It says he was the most beautiful creature in the garden. God cut off his legs, his arm, and he says you will crawl on your belly for eternity. That is the curse, forever. And God says you and I will never talk again. Why does that mean you and I will never talk again? Because as human, when we're in trouble, we're suffering, we call out to God, right? We ask God to help us, to help feed us, to help us with our rent, with, finding kids or having kids or getting married, all the things that we want in life or we think we want. But we can communicate with God. But God said to the snake, you and I will never talk. What does that mean? It means this. Listen to the curse. You will crawl on your belly for eternity. Everything you eat will taste like sand. And the last thing is this. You will never pray to me and ask me for food because you will always have food. You have the rodents, you will have other, creatures that's crawling on the ground. You will always have food, so therefore I never have to hear your voice because you will have food to eat. Listen, you holy women and holy men, or who's seeking to be holy, or who wants to attach to God. This is for you. When you see other women or men shaming other people, you better run. Because this is the curse you get from God. When you shame, you minimize people. Because that is his creation. You are also the creation. You are not the creator. So it may look cute for those of you women who want to shame men, telling the men to man up, become a man, become this and this. Who are you to tell a man something like this? First, are you a godly woman, a holy woman? Have you been following God? Are you following God to the T? First, check yourself before you speak about what a man should be. It's not that I'm cutting anyone down, but I'm just telling you, this is what you're doing. You are literally putting yourself an eternity in hell because you seem like, or you think, or by your logic, that you're doing good. Maybe you're trying to do good. But again, shaming will only get you into hell for eternity. This is all it will do. First, work on yourself. Fix yourself with God. That's the only way. There is no other way for us to get what we want in this world because this world was not created for us to pursue our desires. It's created because God wants us to fix ourselves to become better people. And if you look at the Old Testament, Abraham, Isaac, Moses, Noah, all of these great men and women, they all were attached to God 100%. They didn't ask for God for a big house or a car or this $50,000 or six-figure salary. No, the whole purpose was, what do you want me to do now, God? And God would prompt them. They were there to serve their creator. That is the purpose of our creation. And if you are not doing that, the person you're serving is Satan. That's who you serve.